So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Suicide Squad video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this monster near billion damage build. This is the King Shark build that will absolutely decimate all the mastery levels you throw at it. We're at mastery level 87 and we're still not looking like we're running out of damage. So guys, if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join me over on stream, as I stream 6 times a week. And otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So as you can see from the footage here, we are playing at mastery level 87 and we are absolutely chilling and crushing all the enemies. Now I will say this build is very gear specific. You will need a number of key items and you will need to re-roll stats perfectly in order for you to get the absolute perfect huge damage numbers that you're seeing on screen right now. That being said, these things are not that difficult to find, and once you understand some of the key mechanics in the game, you will understand that you will be doing all this damage and it's pretty simple to do. So first of all, let's talk about the actual gear set that we are going to be running. So it's no surprise here that the gear set we are running is to do with Burn. Burn is a hugely successful meta in the game right now, so I'd highly recommend you switch to this over the tier 1, 2 and 3 Bane sets that are currently in the game. So first of all, our primary thing that we are going to use to apply the Burn is going to be our Black Mass Bulletstorm. This is the minigun variant here. I have rolled it absolutely perfectly for what it needs to have. It needs to have 50% damage against infused enemies. That is the key stat that you need to have here. The other two don't really matter. The critical chance is nice for getting enemies to be able to be, you know, afflicted. There is a modifier that's actually hidden in the game for some reason, that enemies won't be afflicted unless they've been critical hit first. So this critical hit chance just helps you with that. The second gun that we're going to be using is the Super Spreader. Again, the important perk here is the 50% damage to infused enemies. This is really important. For some reason, this is acting as a damage buff for everything. I don't know why. I've tried other weapons in this slot, but when you use the Super Spreader, it seems to just work very well and give us higher damage numbers. In our melee slot, we have the Free Flow. This is used for us to gain combo quickly in order to access some of our damage and damage reduction skills here. I haven't found a better melee item for in here. Now, a lot of people would use the Two-Faced Persuader and then try and shield harvest, but once you get up to these high mastery levels, it's incredibly difficult to get these guys to shield harvest, so I just wanted the free combo instead. Now, one of the most important things in this build is the Volatile Personality Grenade. This will reduce your grenade damage by 60%, but increase the amount of grenades that you can carry to 10. And every time you pick up a grenade, you will pick up 3 grenades. Now, you would think that this is not a good thing, but the burn damage is not linked to that grenade damage, meaning that the more grenades that you throw, the better it is for this build. So having 10 is super important. Then the shield we're going to be using is the Heatwave here. This gives us survivability. Again, we want critical hit chance rolled onto here and damage while shield is at 100%. We're going to be immune for a long time, so we are going to have a full shield. This will give us the full access to the damage that we need. Of course, this shield, every time you burn an enemy, it makes you invulnerable for 2 seconds, and that can stack up as well, which is super important. Then we're going to be using this Still Force Conduit here. The more that we move, the more damage that we have. We also have rolled onto it 50% damage to enemies that are 25 meters or further away, and we have 15% damage to brutes and 15% damage to grunt enemies here as well. Then we're going to be taking the tier 3. This is the only tier 3 item we're going to be taking, and we're going to be taking it for one skill in particular, and that is the One Piece bonus, where you deal 4% more damage to an enemy for each 1% of their health that is missing. This is really nice for the build as well. And then finally, we're going to use the Jinx here. Again, 50% damage to burning enemies is essential. Grenade chop chance is nice to get more grenades back for us. And then the first perk, ammo against critical hits, really doesn't matter here. Now, one of the things that nobody is talking about yet is making sure that you set up your squad in order to help you. We took this build from 100 million to 997 million, I think it is, by just really changing the support squad. And by what I mean by that is going into these guys and making sure that these are set up correctly. Now, the weapon that you want to try and get on all of the guys is the stack deck. Put it in the primary slot so they use the stack deck, so they're going to be debuffing for you. You want to make sure that the melee slots are not on Bane, not on the craze things. You want to make sure that ideally they are on fire, and then use the Black Mass target priority here so that they are debuffing from both the grenade slot and the actual gun slot as well. And make sure that they are all doing this. So make sure you've got stack decks on there for all of them at the very minimum, and Black Mass target priorities as well if you have them. This will ensure that you will have the maximum amount of damage, because these guys will be going around debuffing them for you. When all of that aligns and they debuff the same enemy, that's when you're going to be hitting huge numbers. But expect to see 100, 200, 300 million hits all the time with this build. In terms of the talent tree, this is with the talent tree that we've gone with here. I'm not going to talk through it now because this has been well trodden. Take a screenshot here of the talent tree. But when you go into the squad skills, what is super important is that you get into the higher echelons here by ranking up all the other characters. Make sure we're taking 20 points here and 40 points here for bonus damage against burning enemies, and then split your points as you level them up for the infused. You will either get Flash or Batman at the end of the beacon mission, so make sure that you've split them, because there is no way of predicting which one you are going to get. Finally, in terms of the playstyle, it's really simple. We're going to be wanting to paint the world with fire. Do this with a Black Mass Bulletstorm. Do this with your grenades, as many as you can. Don't overthink things. One grenade will definitely tick damage most of the grunt enemies, and one burst of the Black Mass Bulletstorm will do the same. So try and make sure, especially in the incursion missions for the beacons and for Daphne, make sure that you're not double stacking. You're throwing a grenade and then hitting the Black Mass. Try and rotate them so you have enough damage. You'll do absolutely no damage with anything else other than burn. Burn is the solitary way that we do the damage here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please consider subscribing to the channel, or join me over on stream as I stream 6 times a week. And otherwise, happy billion damage hunting.